Welcome to Talkin Maine with the Bowtie Boy. I'm Tom Saviello, and we're going to talk about the Ukrainian and the Ukrainian families that are in our local area. So welcome, and you are Sandy?
Sandy Swatsky.
Sandy, I can't even talk this. I got it. Sandy, thank you very much. and Janine, my old pro.
Yep.
This is about the gazillionth time you've been on.
Third, I think.
You know, we should have a bell to ring every time somebody new old comes on, how many times they've been on. Well, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming in on Fridays to talk to us about this. First of all, tell me how, even though you've already told the community, but tell us, Sandy, how you got involved.
Well, it's a bit funny.
Okay.
I've been a supporter of those poor people under the attack in Ukraine, and I have a little flag, Ukrainian flag, stuck on the back of my car, made with duct tape, blue and yellow duct tape, and parked at Hannaford. And I found a note on my car one day when I came out from getting the groceries, and it was from Janine, telling us that she is part of a small group that was interested in helping, and if I was interested, call me, and I did.
Wow.
And here I am.
So that actually, we should send that to the duct tape manufacturers because it's one of those special stories that they run about people and their product.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Wow, that's really interesting. It's funny how things like that, just coincidences occur.
It was a coincidence.
There's no such thing as a coincidence. There was a reason for it. That's why you're involved.
Yeah.
And Janine, I know, but remind the audience about your experience.
Well, I had the honor of serving in the Peace Corps in Ukraine for 3 years, 2017 through 2020. March 2020, we were evacuated because of the pandemic, and then 2 years later, the Russians invaded. So I have been very involved at this point because of my love of the country and the people that I was living with, and so I feel a tremendous tie and connection.
Huge connection.
Yeah,
You've come on before, and those that are watching, if you want to call up the shows, just call up Ukraine, Janine Wynn on that, and you'll see the 2 shows that she's been on with us about the customs and some of the culture and so forth that are there. But we, as a community, so you've created the Western Maine Friends of Ukrainians, and what is that? Where are they located, and what are their goals?
Well, we are a sponsor group. The United States government has allowed private sponsorship if you can tick off all their requirements.
Yep.
And we've done that, and you need 5 people to create a sponsor circle, and that's how it started out. And once you do that, you can register, I guess the word might be, to become sponsors, and you do have to agree to certain criteria, and it's basically to make sure that you don't have people come into the United States without any support. So that's what we do.
So what were some of the things that you had to check off?
Well, you have to have a background check, number one.
Oh, how did Janine pass? Oh, I'm only kidding.
But there was no problem with any of us, to make sure that we're not criminals or any way, to take advantage of this situation in some way, in a nefarious way. But that was relatively easy.
Yep.
We're mostly older people.
We're vintage people, not older.
Experienced.
Yes, we're well
But
experienced.
not on the computer. But at any rate, so that's how we did that. And plus we have a wider group now. The group has gotten wider and wider as more, especially as we've had our new family come. And there's been quite a lot of support. And we have a core group. Besides the sponsors, we have a larger, maybe 15 people that meet once or twice a month to discuss what we're doing, how we're
and
advancing.
to make sure that the host family has the support that they need to be able to have extra people in the household for a period of months.
Yes, the host family or the host home has been our goal to get more. We have one that's been wonderful, and that enabled us to bring a family. You can't bring any more families if you don't
Have a place for
have a
them to
place
stay.
for them to stay.
Yeah.
So some of your goals, I mean, had you must have, as a group, established what you want to accomplish. So what are they?
To get the people that we bring in assimilated, I guess you might say, or successful in our
Yep.
community.
Yep.
Welcome them, make them feel accepted, help them where we can, and help them to be self-sufficient.
Yep.
So it's not a do everything for them kind of situation.
Yep.
We are helping them get settled.
Yep.
Are you associated with the Catholic Charities at all?
We are
Or by
private.
yourself?
We're private. We're not church affiliated. We happen to have meetings at one of the local churches, but we're not in the least
We're
affiliated.
we're not incorporated or anything of that nature. We intentionally wanted to stay away from a lot of officialness, just to make it easier.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really community based, and we're just regular folks.
Yep.
So how many do you have now that are serving as your group? You said 50, up to 50?
There's 5 sponsors, which is a requirement, and there's about 15 in the core.
Yep.
And there's about 60 to 75 in our email friends, list that gets included when we give announcements.
Do you have a website or something that
We have a
people...
Facebook page.
Facebook page.
Yep.
And so we'll run the Facebook page, but Janine knows it runs right underneath here,
Yep.
what we're talking about. You can see it.
Oh,
It's right there. If you it's right, running right across. And, it's Western Maine Friends of Ukraine and look for the
Ukrainians.
Ukrainians.
Yeah.
And we also have a couple emails that are on there, but we'll put it up
Yeah.
so people can
Yeah.
get in touch if they're interested in participating.
That
with
would
you.
be wonderful.
And one of the things that the group has done that supports both the host family and the Ukrainian family that's joining us is help folks through the process. There's a huge process of basically hoops to jump through in order to establish oneself in the States legally. And it includes steps to take so that people can legally work, so that they can get public assistance as needed. So, we were able to pitch in with the driving to various appointments and stuff like that, it was great. It was a way to get to know the Demchuks better and to take some of the load off the
Now,
host
are
family.
they allowed to work sooner
They're
than...
allowed to work immediately.
Oh, wow, okay.
They have a document called the I-94 that they get when they come in. I mean, they are vetted by the government before they even get over here. It takes some months to do. It's
Yeah.
not that.
So there's a process they
They
have
need to
do.
be vetted
Yep.
before they can come.
Yep.
And they get a document that allows them to work, only it is better or easier once your Social Security numbers come through.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things to do right after they arrive to get these things rolling, which we did. If they have a driver's license, it's good for 1 year before they need to get
A Maine
a Maine
license.
ID.
Yep.
There's things like that. And there's a bunch of things to be done immediately. And transportation, of course, can be an issue. So as far as wanting to encourage people to be hosts, we found that the one we have, which is right in town, has been excellent because they can walk around the community, get oriented to the community, do a lot of things in the community without having to drive. And our particular family who has children, that's been especially helpful to do that.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating. And I didn't know. I think it's good people should know that they have the ability because they're classified as a different thing, but they also have to go through a waiting period to come in here or have to be fully vetted.
Yes, they have to be fully vetted before they can even
Yep.
come on. And when they arrive, they have the document in their hand, the I-94,
Wow.
so that they could work, which is, everybody needs more workers. And we have the system that we've used, it's called welcome.us, where they, as a host, you go on that website and you match. It's like a dating service. You match up the family or people or persons that you would like to host, and they're looking for the same thing. They're trying to match up what will work best for them, And so you don't just accept anyone. It's somebody that you chose and they chose you, so that it's much more likely to work. And that's how it happened
Wow.
for us.
So you actually went through and had other choices. And you
I
picked-
didn't. I wasn't doing it because I don't live in town, and that would have been. We can see how much more difficult it would be if you lived out of town. The transportation issue is one of the issues. But if you live in town,
It's easier.
much easier.
Because everything's in walking distance. The grocery
Yep.
store's in
Yep.
walking distance.
You can manage.
Is the office that you work with in Lewiston?
We don't have an office.
No,
that
I mean,
we-
I
yeah.
guess more like the federal government. Where are they located that you have?
Well, it's all on website
It's
sort
on
of
website.
thing.
Yeah.
We have a group that helps Grace Gaskell. What is her group? That's shoot.
Yeah, that's out of Hartford, Connecticut, and
I'm trying to think of
it's
the name
it's
of
an
that.
immigration resettlement
Yeah,
office.
there's people to help, and
There
she
are
has weekly or so
Yeah,
office
office
hours
hours.
to help us online. And we don't deal with Lewiston or the Maine Immigration Service. We were going to, but we found we did not need to
Yep.
because as people coming in with the humanitarian parole, they are pre-vetted. So we don't need to go through some of the hoops. We go to the DHS office.
And that's right here in Farmington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we managed.
So I would say your biggest accomplishment right now is you were able to bring a family into our area to become part of the Farmington fabric.
Yes.
That would be your biggest. The other biggest accomplishment is you had the best auction that they've
That's
had around.
right.
And I hear the auctioneer wasn't too bad either.
Yeah,
was
the auctioneer
great.
was great.
Thank you.
But that's one of your fundraisers. I mean,
Yeah,
you also
yeah.
have found ways that you can help the family, and that was one that you did pretty well, if I
Yeah,
remember.
the fundraiser was a great success. We did not have any idea that it would be, but held at the Industry Town Hall in October, which you facilitated, both potluck and auction, and we raised money to help with some of the bigger expenses that this family would encounter, and also so that we can bring in other families. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
not all for
the
this
fascinating
family.
thing to me as being up there is that people didn't leave. You know, we were just talking about that at the beginning. They came for a purpose, and to be part of the auction, and to be part of the dinner. So they didn't leave, and I know you were pretty successful.
Oh,
yeah.
it was beyond our expectations.
Yep.
So
It was
very
fun.
helpful.
I mean,
It was fun.
It was always fun. I had Janine up there giving her a hard time. So there is something that we want to make as a public service announcement if anybody's watching that, and I'll let you guys go ahead and make that PSA. And then we'll
Okay.
bring in our family.
Okay. So Tom asked about our goals and accomplishments. One of the most compelling goals right now is to find additional host families. We would like to help other folks come to the States, and we need a family where they can stay for, excuse me,
Don't get all choked
Yep.
up yet.
Sometimes as short as 3 months, could be 6 months, to have other people in your home. And so what folks need to be a host is a spare room, a welcoming environment, and the patience for the process of helping people settle in. And if you want to know more about our group and what we're doing, look for our Facebook page, Western Maine Friends of Ukrainians. You can contact us through that and give us your email address, or I believe, yes, my email address is there as well. If you email me, I'll make sure you get on our email list that we update people. And folks are always welcome to come to one of our meetings. Right now, we're meeting on the last Monday of the month at 4 o'clock at the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, known as the Mormon Church, on Woodfield Drive.
Okay.
So,
All right.
So-
So why don't we have a young mom in here with her little baby. Why don't we bring her in and have a chat with her? Welcome back to Talking Maine. We have a very special guest. I'm Tom.
I'm Marina.
Marina,
Yeah.
welcome to the show. It's
Thank
nice
you.
to have you here. You came all the way from the Ukraine just to be on our show. Is that right?
Yeah.
I thought so. And who is this young gentleman's name?
It's Eli.
Eli?
Yeah.
How are you? Oh, he wants to talk. See, that's why he's putting
Yeah.
that in his mouth. Well, welcome. So how has your experience been? And so first thing, say welcome in Ukrainian.
Welcome in Ukrainian.
No. Now use Ukrainian language to say welcome.
Oh!
It's okay. She's literally
Taking
so go ahead.
instructions.
You're doing good. Now, how do you say welcome in the Ukrainian language?
In Ukrainian language.
Or even hello. How do you say
Привіт.
Say it again.
Привіт.
Привit.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. How has your experience been coming from Ukraine to Farmington?
Oh, it's nice experience. Yeah, a lot good people live in Farmington, and our experience very good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And your husband is here with you too, correct?
Yeah, my husband and my oldest son, Luca. Now he is in school, and my husband at work.
So what
No.
grade is Luca in at school?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. Oh,
Yeah.
he's just starting right out.
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes to the Mallet School.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does he like school?
Yeah, he very likes school, and I'm so happy because it's very nice for me and for Luca. Yeah, he likes his teachers and he likes school.
So is he learning the language easily? As a young person, I was told that you can learn a new language a lot easier than when you get to be experienced like us.
Yeah, now he not a lot speaking. he knows some words and he a lot understand and every day he give me new words from school. Yeah, and ask me what is mean or something. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a good way to for you to learn the language too.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with what words he brings home from school, because some of them you may not really want to use. And your husband, what's his name?
My husband name Oleg.
Oleg.
Yeah.
And what is Oleg doing today?
He working on construction.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I think someone had talked to me about it. He has a construction background, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
He did that in Ukraine before he came to the States.
Yeah.
So how did the food, is it really different here? So I think I told you we actually bought some of your little candies or desserts.
Oh.
What are they called? They're like I can't describe it, but they look like a roll.
Yeah.
With nuts around them and like a nougat in the middle of them. What are they called?
In Ukrainian, it's called Кримські солодощі from Crimea. Or yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's just yeah.
So and those I know Lisa Laughlin has them in her store, Wears and Wears, because my partner Christine went in and bought some and brought them home. Don't tell anybody, but they're really good. And you also are making bread too, if I understand correctly. Are you,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have a loaf of your bread at home now. I haven't cut it yet.
Did you like this?
I didn't try the bread yet. I love sourdough bread. It's my
Oh,
favorite
nice.
bread, and I understand the bowl that she brought home is sourdough. So I'm
Nice.
interested. So you're actually cooking here to bring some Ukrainian foods into the country.
Yeah, a little bit.
And what have you found about American food? Is it very different?
No, different because yes, it's very different with tradition Ukrainian food, and
Nope.
every day in Ukraine sometimes we have similar food, and yeah, and some food very different for us, and we like it. Yeah.
Good. Great. So, and you're living with the host family now, correct?
Yeah.
And what are their names?
James and Robin House and sons.
And Sandy. Yeah.
Well, no, and her sons.
Oh, and her
Sons.
sons. Oh, she
Sons.
has two sons or one?
Two sons.
Two sons. Wow. That's
Yeah.
got to be a great experience. Are they Luca's age?
Luca 5 years, and sons, James' sons, one maybe 17 and one 8.
Oh, so but they're close to Luca a little bit in there.
The younger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else how about transportation? Are you driving yet?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have experience maybe 8 years driving.
Before you came here, you drove.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have your car, you have a car.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks. We have a car. Yeah. I'm so glad because it's very comfortable. Yeah.
It's like in America, when we get older, when you're well, in my case, I was from New Jersey originally. 17, you got your driver's license.
Oh.
You got your freedom because you didn't have to ask mom and dad for a ride. You could get in the car if they let you use the car, and you could go wherever you wanted. And as you get to be more vintage and experienced, one of the hardest things in the world for us is you have to give up your keys because you're not able to drive. So you've lost your independence. So it sounds like you're rediscovering your independence.
Yeah. I have similar experience. Yeah. My father gave me key and yeah.
So are your family still in Ukraine? Some of them? Your father?
Yeah. Yeah, now my family in Ukraine.
It's got to be a very difficult place to live today.
Yeah, it's very difficult place because it's hard.
We're glad you're safe and you're with us.
Yes.
What else have you found special here that are different?
Language.
Now that's cheating.
Yeah.
And see, we have our own language. There are no books that can explain it, why we are the way we are, because we're such a hodgepodge of different nationalities, and we've all brought in our own interpretation of English.
Yeah.
And my family gives me a hard time because I mispronunciate stuff on purpose. And we called it Muggsyisms, but I make my own story about words that are there. How old's the baby?
2 months.
2 months. Whoa.
He's a big boy
I
already.
guess so.
He's a big
Big
boy.
boy.
Big boy. Wow.
Like
So
his
how many
daddy.
brothers and sisters do you have? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
And are they involved back in the Ukraine, involved in the war, unfortunately?
Yeah.
Wow. So, and your husband, he's working in construction today.
Yeah.
So he's found something for him to get going and working a little bit. That's good. Is he enjoying it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Enjoy.
how's the weather? Are we colder, warmer, snowier?
It's similar weather. I think sometimes it's a little bit warmest, and sometimes it's very similar. Yeah, and we from south part.
Southern Ukraine?
Yeah.
Southern Ukraine.
Yeah, and we have very hot summer. Yeah, I think Maine may be a little bit coolest. Yeah.
Cooler.
Yeah, it
Cooler.
could be. That is if it doesn't rain this summer. Were you here this summer? No, they hadn't
came in
arrived.
September.
No.
Usually we are
September.
cooler, but last summer it rained all the time. About every week we had a rainstorm of some significance.
Oh.
So we hope that's an anomaly because
Right.
come around 4th of July, right after the 4th of July here, the summer is gorgeous. You know, we'll have some hot weather, but it doesn't last very long. And that's also what you haven't been here for the black fly season yet either.
Oh, don't tell her that.
Oh, I can't tell you that. Oh, see, Sandy told me I can't tell you about
I'll
that.
tell you later.
About
Black flies.
They're little bug,
Oh.
little insect,
Uh-huh.
and they bite.
But they go
They
away
bite.
after a while.
Oh.
Bite.
Some people
Like
bite. If you're-
mosquitoes?
Like
Yes.
mosquitoes, yes.
Yes.
But there's some people they bite and some people they don't. They don't like me because they don't bite me. 'Cause if you bite me, I'm so ornery that they eat the blood and they die. So they leave me alone. And I find people that wave at them like that, and I stand by them because that's who they go to. They go to the heat of the action that's going out there. It'll be an experience, but it's still, they're only out for a very short period of time, and there's plenty of bug spray and other things that keep them off you. See, so I've given you a warning, a heads up. So when I see you this summer, I'll ask, well, how are the black flies? Don't tell your husband, because he might not be happy about it, because
Okay.
especially if he's working outside. Anything else special that you'd like to share with people that are watching this show at all? Or anything that you think of that you'd like to say? other than you're pleased to be here?
A lot words for me. How words I understand, how no. Say again.
So what do you, if somebody was to ask you how your experience coming to this country has been so far, good, bad, different, what would you tell them?
Oh, different and good. Yeah, I like this country. I like Farmington. Yeah. And I like family who host family. Yeah, it's nice experience.
You've done very well at trying to deal with the language, because if I were, see, because I've looked at this and I've tried to figure out what it says, and I have no idea. No idea. I mean, this, so you know, I'll even hold it up. We can look at it. That's in Ukrainian. So if you guys can figure that out there, you'll know exactly what's going on. I'll use this page because it tells me everything that's here. Well, Elena, we're coming to the end of our show, and I want to thank you for coming on. And let Sandy kind of finish up with anything that you want to summarize with, as we got another couple minutes.
We've been very happy with Irina and her family coming, and it's been a wonderful experience. It's not necessarily easy, but it's been very enriching to our lives, and I would recommend it to anyone to contact us about being a host family, and we can fill you in on all the details.
And I think that's a great way to bring the show to kind of a close, and just thank you for trusting us to be your home and bringing us to this country and this little guy.
Oh, thank you.
We've all been there with those things before. We used to call them nukes.
Yes,
Nukes. And because they were the one thing that my daughter, when she was a baby, she would take it. My son wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh, my oldest son, similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're universal, but he's doing great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Sandy, thank you. And Janine for contacting me to do this. And you guys just let us know if there's something else you need to do on the show. We'll make arrangements for you to come on, just like we did this one. Because this is important to us.
Yeah,
and I'm ready to do the next auction.
Okay.
I'm ready to
You're
go.
on.
I'm on. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Talkin.